Global trade is already under pressure, and one of its most critical choke points sits right in Istanbul. Every year, more than 43,000 ships squeeze through Istanbul's Bosphorus Strait, making it one of the busiest and most dangerous maritime passages in the world. In just the past decade, dozens of accidents and near disasters have been reported. Meanwhile, 3% of all global oil trade moves through these narrow waters, putting the world economy at risk every single day. Faced with rising threats, Turkey announced a bold solution: Canal Istanbul, a $65 billion artificial waterway that promises to rewrite the map of global shipping. But can this mega project really solve the problems, or will it unleash even bigger disasters? And how is this canal connected to secret international power games? Stay with us till the end, because the full story behind Turkey's $65 billion gamble is more shocking than you might think. It all started in 2011. Standing before a sea of cameras, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan introduced his boldest vision, yet a project so ambitious he called it Çılgın Proje, meaning the crazy project. The Bosphorus Strait, threading through Istanbul like a shimmering ribbon, is a vital trade route, but it's overcrowded. Over 43,000 vessels squeeze through it every year, 4 times more than the Panama Canal. Accidents happen, ships crash, environmental disasters lurk. Erdogan's idea? Build an entirely new canal on Istanbul's western side, a man-made maritime highway 45 kilometers long, linking the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara. It wouldn't just ease congestion, it would redefine Turkey's global influence. It was grand, daring, dangerous, exactly the kind of gamble that could make or break a legacy. But what does building a new sea passage actually involve? Canal Istanbul will be massive, 45 kilometers long, roughly the distance between Manhattan and JFK Airport. It will stretch 150 meters wide, broad enough to fit 2 enormous cargo ships side by side, and 25 meters deep, deep enough for the largest ships afloat today. Along the canal, 6 huge bridges will be built, blending futuristic design with traditional Ottoman styles. Even more dramatically, 3 artificial islands will rise from the excavated earth, hosting luxury developments, parks, and entertainment centers. Entire new cities are also planned on either side of the canal, housing up to 500,000 people. These cities will be eco-friendly, tech-driven, and completely modernized, with high-speed rails, smart roads, and commercial hubs. Canal Istanbul isn't just a water project. It's a blueprint for a whole new Istanbul. The price tag is massive. Estimates for Canal Istanbul range from $25 billion to as high as $65 billion, depending on how much supporting infrastructure, like bridges, ports, and new urban zones is included. But Turkish officials argue the rewards will far outweigh the risks. First, there's the canal tolls. Under the 1936 Montreux Convention, Turkey can't charge ships transiting the Bosphorus. But the new canal, that's different. Ships would have to pay for passage. Estimates suggest Turkey could generate up to $8 billion annually from shipping fees alone, an enormous potential revenue stream. Real estate is another gold mine. Land prices along the canal's route have already skyrocketed, and luxury developments, ports, logistics hubs, marinas, and business districts are in the master plan. Investors are flooding the region, betting on Canal Istanbul, transforming sleepy farmland into prime global real estate. The canal is also expected to create around 10,000 direct jobs during construction, and tens of thousands more indirectly, from engineering firms to hospitality and logistics sectors. In a struggling economy battered by inflation and currency devaluation, the government sees it as a badly needed economic engine. But these dreams come with towering risks. Critics warn that soaring debt, inflationary pressures, and foreign currency shortages could make the canal a financial burden rather than a blessing. If global trade routes shift, or if traffic fails to meet projections, Turkey could be stuck with a colossal monument to overreach a project too big to succeed and too expensive to abandon. While the government paints a rosy future, scientists and environmentalists are raising red flags. The Istanbul Canal project could devastate the city's already fragile ecosystem. It would carve through forests, wetlands, and freshwater basins that are absolutely critical to the city's survival. Lake Turkos and the Sazlıdere Reservoir, 2 of Istanbul's major drinking water sources, risk contamination from saltwater intrusion. Mixing the waters of the Black Sea and the Sea of Marmara could trigger unpredictable chemical reactions, killing marine species and fueling toxic algae blooms across the region. Roughly 350 hectares of forest would be wiped out, displacing countless species, destroying vital green spaces, and eliminating a key carbon sink that helps fight urban pollution. Seismologists scientists also warn of deeper dangers. Digging such a massive trench across land so close to the North Anatolian Fault could increase earthquake risks dramatically, and if a tanker carrying hazardous materials were to spill inside the canal, the environmental fallout could be catastrophic, poisoning water supplies, killing wildlife, and putting thousands of lives at risk. For many experts, this project isn't just risky, it's an ecological disaster ticking like a time bomb. Enter Istanbul's mayor, Ekrem İmamoğlu. Since taking office, he's become one of Canal Istanbul's fiercest and most vocal opponents. Calling it a murder project, İmamoğlu launched a massive campaign to block it, citing devastating environmental risks, economic burdens, and irreversible social consequences. His administration filed multiple lawsuits, organized public forums, and even pushed for referendums to highlight overwhelming public opposition across Istanbul. In courtrooms, zoning plans have been challenged, environmental impact reports have been questioned, suspended, and sometimes annulled. Yet Erdogan's government refuses to back down, framing the canal as a national necessity. What started as a dispute over construction has morphed into a high-stakes political battle between Erdogan's grand vision for Turkey's future and a growing public movement demanding sustainability, transparency, and accountability. Canal Istanbul is no longer just an engineering marvel, it's a symbol of Turkey's deepening political divide. There's a layer most people overlook: geopolitics. Under the 1936 Montreux Convention, Turkey controls the Bosphorus and Dardanelles Straits, but must allow civilian and military ships free passage during peacetime with strict limits on foreign warships' tonnage and duration. But Canal Istanbul as a man-made waterway might not fall under Montreux rules. That gives Turkey potential power to limit, charge, or redirect naval traffic as it sees fit. It could shift control over who moves where and when between NATO, Russia, and regional players. Russia has already raised red flags. Its Black Sea fleet depends on uninterrupted access through Turkish waters. If the canal gives NATO more flexibility, the result could be rising tension or even new confrontations in the Black Sea. Erdogan says Turkey will remain committed to Montreux, but experts warn that the canal hands anchor a powerful leverage and that in today's volatile world, leverage is a weapon. Canal Istanbul isn't just an economic bet, it's a potential game changer in global military strategy. So where do things stand now? In 2021, construction of the first bridge over the canal began a symbolic first step. As of early 2025, major land acquisitions have been completed. Infrastructure work, including new highways, metro lines, and preliminary excavation is underway. Housing projects linked to the canal are springing up. Investors, including foreign companies from Qatar, China, and the UAE, have shown strong interest in waterfront developments. However, financial instability within Turkey has slowed the pace. The lira's volatility and high inflation have complicated funding efforts. Several banks initially balked at financing the project, citing environmental and ethical concerns. Despite these hurdles, Erdogan remains determined. He's vowed that Canal Istanbul will open its waters to ships by 2030, even if it takes using public-private partnerships, selling bonds, or securing foreign loans. It's a high-wire act pitting ambition against reality. Canal Istanbul stands as a mirror to Turkey's soul: ambitious, proud, restless, and willing to bet big on its dreams. It promises to redefine trade routes, reshape geopolitics, and revolutionize urban life. But it also threatens to deepen political rifts, scar the environment, and saddle future generations with massive debts. In the end, Canal Istanbul will either be remembered as a masterstroke of vision or a cautionary tale of hubris. Which will it be? Only time will tell. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, make sure to like, comment, and share. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the world's biggest projects. Stay tuned and stay curious.